Okay, so Yasher Koyach, everybody. Again, for our Kehila coming together, it's something that's really amazing, and I'm excited about tomorrow's program as well. I'll remind everybody at the end of this call. I just wanted to take a few minutes of inspiration when we're coming, uh, as we're counting our way towards Matan Torah, to try to understand, to take inspiration from this week's parasha into our lives. You know, Israel is known as the nation that has produced the best nav system in the world, the best navigation system in the world. Google has been around for a long time, and they've spent billions of dollars and put. I think our unique navigation system also tells the story of the Jewish people and the success of the startup nation. You know, Google has been around for so long and has taken pictures of every single street in the world, and has created, and has satellites and has created maps and everything. But here came along a group of young engineers, and they realized that to really help a person get from one place to the next, you can't just do it alone. You need to have everyone working together. And they created obviously the best nav system, which is what? Which is Waze. And the concept of it, I think, is so basic. It's the concept, but it's profound. It's the concept that is the defining concept that is bringing us into the new world that we live in today, where it's not just about the one company that is really great at what it's doing, but rather it's empowering the people to work together to get to that goal. So what Waze did was, like, every single car and every single person and everyone's phone is really part of the nav system, and together we could reach our destination if we go to that direction. And I think that's telling about so many different things here in our startup nation. But I think it's also very profound to our life. And not only is it profound to our life, it's profound, and there's something in this week's parasha, Parashat Emor, which is known as Parashat HaMoadot, that is something very profound as well. Because like any nav system, and we've mentioned this a little bit in the past, but I would like to elaborate on it. Any nav system, in order to know uh, how to best get to any destination, you need to do three things. It's really, you're doing two things, and then you have to figure it out. Number one is you have to know where you are. So the navigation system realizes where you are right now. What's your location? Number two, you need to choose the goal of where you want to go. Where is it that you want to actually reach? And then the computer system helps develop a system for you that helps you get to that destination. And I'm bothered by this question, and it's a lifelong question, which is, what is our ultimate destination in life? What is our goal in our personal lives? What is the nav system, the navigation system, to help us reach our destination? So we always need to do those 2-3 steps. Is number one, we have to realize, where am I holding right now in my life? What is my reality right now? What am I a part of? What are the things that I have accomplished in my life? But also, what do I want to accomplish? What are my goals that I'm interested in accomplishing in the near future or in the long future? And why do I have those goals? Why is that the destination that I want to get to? Are people even thinking about the destination of where they want to go? I think this time period of the last 2 months that we were in our quarantines gave people a chance to stop and think of what is this all for? Where are we going with all of this? And it's to pick our destination of where is it that we want to go. And then once we know where we want to go, we have to figure out the pathway, how to actually get there. And I think the parasha of the Moadot, of the Moadim, is something that is helping us how to get there. Because it's called Moed, right? A holiday, a Jewish holiday, is called Moed. What is the Moed? What does the word Moed mean? The word Moed has the meaning, it comes from the word Va'ad, that it's everybody coming together. Bet Va'ad Lachachamim. So it represents, and we actually do this on our Chagim. Unfortunately, this past Pesach, it was the first Moed since Yetziat Mitzrayim that the Bnei Israel were not able to do collectively as communities. Maybe during the time of the Inquisition, also people were in their own basements all by themselves and they couldn't gather together. But even then, they would try to gather together different families. in hiding. Here it was really every family all by himself. And normally, though, a moed is a beit va'ad. The shorish of moed is vav ayin daled, which is everyone gathers together. So, which also shows us, like this nav system of the Israelis, the way to reach our destination is specifically through our community, through the Am Yisrael working together. But number two, the Mefarshim explain, Rav Hirsch is very into this different letters and understanding what the roots of what they mean. And he says moed not just only comes from the word va'ad, but it also comes from the word ya'ad. Ya'ad means the destination. The moed helps us reach our ultimate destination. In fact, it is our GPS system. It is the system of how to reach our ultimate goal. And the way to do it is following the Moadim, and that's why the Moadim are called Regalim, Shalosh Regalim, because there's 3 Raglaim. If you want to reach any destination, you have to walk there on your feet, and then you'll reach the destination. Now, what is that destination? We're in quarantine right now. A lot of times people personally are in quarantine. They have certain bad habits. They get angry. They're smoking. They're not eating healthy. Whatever it is that they choose, they want to break out of, that's what's represented in the holiday of Pesach. Pesach is the Yetziat Mitzrayim, is the coming out of the Meitzarim. We discussed it this year as well. It's coming out of whatever is constrained, whatever is holding us back in our lives, whether it's physically or whether it's emotionally, whether it's mentally, whether it's spiritually. It's coming out of that and it's breaking free. And then you go on the process of when you come free, you also need to have a goal of where it is that you're going. It's not just about not being limited and restricted. I need to have a destination. And that's why Am Yisrael went 50 days until they reached Matan Torah. They reached Matan Torah. That is the core values of Am Yisrael. What they heard on Ma'amad al-Sinai was the 10 commandments, which are the core values. All of the mitzvos are learned from those values. They said, Na'aseh v'nishma, we're willing to hear this. Even before they heard them, they're mekabel upon themselves these aseres adibros. Moshe Rabbeinu comes down with the luchos, with the entire Torah. First, there's the Chet Egel, and then there's this, but pretty much they're getting our mission. That's our mission statement in this world of how could we make this world a better place. The Torah, what we just read in Parashat Kedoshim last week, is Kedoshim to you. Build that perfect society with the perfect values, with the perfect law system that will show the world this is how you build a society, a nation, a people that care for the poor, that care for the needy, that care for the widow and for the orphan, that care for the ger, for the convert, for the someone who comes in from the outside. That the entire system of living a holy spiritual life of social justice, of caring for one another, of a spiritual connection to a higher cause, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That is what our entire system is supposed to be. That's what we got on Shavuot. That is the destination of how to get there. And the way where you are going to build it is actually in Eretz Yisrael. So it's with these values. We keep on going all the way until we hit Chag Sukkot. Sukkot is that you've entered the house of Hashem, and there's only 3 mitzvos in the entire Torah that you bring your whole guf, your entire body into them. Number 1 is a sukkah. Number 2 is the mitzvah of Yeshuv Eretz Yisrael, of living in Eretz Yisrael. There's also the mitzvah of submerging oneself in a mikvah. Imagine you have a mikvah in your sukkah in Eretz Yisrael. That's it. You've done all 3 mitzvot at one time. But it represents, Sukkot represents that we've created that society and that Hashem is here and the Mishkan is here and the Shechina is here. And that's why Sukkot is that time of celebration, of Simchat Torah, of celebrating the Torah, because we've reached our goal through the learning of the Torah. Now, obviously, along the way, whenever you set yourself a goal, sometimes there could be chas v'shalom, a car accident on the road. There could be a traffic jam, something happens. And then what does the Waze do? It goes into circle motion and it goes recalculating. And then it tells you have to go this way. You have to go that. There is sometimes a change in direction in the middle. It's still taking you to that destination, but there is a change in direction. And that's pretty much what happened with the Chet Egel. Moshe Rabbeinu came down with the luchos. He saw that they did Egel Hazav, so he broke the luchos. So then Hashem tells him, go back up, and he asks for Mechila, and then he comes back down, Salachti Kitvarecha, he brings the second Luchos. And that's why, because we have Shivasar B'Tammuz and Tisha B'Av, which are sort of breaks along the way to reach our destination, our mistakes and our accidents that we've made along the way, that's why Hashem gave us also Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippurim. Rosh Hashanah is part of Parashat HaMoadot, is Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippurim, is to stop and to understand that there's judgment about my year and to realign my goals for the entire year. And Yom Kippurim is to ask Mechila and to have a new start. And then I'm ready to go back into Sukkot. I'm ready to go enter Sukkot, to enter that destination of living here in Eretz Yisrael with that perfect society, even if we've made mistakes. And oh boy, we've made mistakes as a society and even as individuals. But we have the opportunity to restart, the opportunity to start again and to make sure that we're realigning ourselves. And also another part of the Moadot is the Yom HaShabbat, the mitzvah of Shabbos, is not only do we stop once a year to realign ourselves, we actually have a weekly pause to make sure that our navigation system is actually plugged in to the right destination. The fact that we're able to stop once a week and to detox from technology, from the news, from whatever else, all the stresses of life, and we're able to detox all of that, and just to say, wait a minute, I'm in this big race of life, and I'm going to stop, and I'm going to connect to those values that are the driving force of my life, and I'm going to connect to the people that I identify with that are also trying to reach the same goal and the same destination. That is the process that we go through, and that's exactly what the Parashat HaMoadot is, and that's why Chachamim call the Moed, they call it a Chag. It's a V'yachoguli. We call it that it's a Chag, Chag HaSukkot hazeh, Chag HaShavuot hazeh. Chag is also to do a machog. It's a circle. So it's a constant spiral of us going up. Every single year is reaching our destination more and more. We're constantly going up and up in our goal. And that's why it's called a Yom Tov, a person who's able to connect to his value. He has a reason to celebrate. It is a Yom Tov. It's a reason that he could celebrate that way. And that's why right in the beginning of leaving Mitzrayim, the beginning of the process of understanding that we have a journey and that we have a destination and that we're reaching some sort of goal, right in the beginning comes the days of Sfirat HaOmer. Sfirat HaOmer is here to teach us something very fundamental in reaching our goals, because Sfirat HaOmer is called Sheva Shabbatot Temimot Tihiyena. 7 complete weeks it needs to be Temimot. Now I understand there's a concept of calling people Tamim. Avraham Avinu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Hitalech lefanai veheyei tamim. You should go in front of me and you should be pure. You should be innocent. You shouldn't ask questions about things that you don't necessarily fully understand. Yaakov Avinu is Yaakov Ishtam Yoshevu Alim. I understand that people are tamim. What does it mean that the days or the weeks are tamim? Why is that word? Why doesn't the Torah use Sheva Shavuot Shelemot Tihiyena? What does it mean Temimot? That they're complete weeks. There's something very fundamental about Sfirat HaOmer. That is, my son, now he's already in first grade, but I remember when he came in, I remember if it was last year, 2 years ago, when he was in Gan, so he came in with a Sfiras HaOmer chart. And on this special Sfiras HaOmer chart, every day you're supposed to, I don't know, it was to take off a sticker, to scratch it off. It was one of those like lottery things that you scratch off every day, and it reveals the number of the day. And he was so excited, and he comes in, it's after Pesach, we're ready a week in, so they, in the beginning of Gan, they scratched off the entire week to show that look how much has already passed. And now every day we're going to scratch off one more. He comes home, and he decides to scratch the entire art project. He took off the entire thing. He's like, look, I already made it to day 50. So, well, it doesn't work that way. I explained to him, no. Yeah, you ruined the whole thing. Every day you go up one step. Sometimes when we're younger, so we think that we could jump very quickly. We could make it big quickly. You see a lot of, I do some training, some leadership training, sometimes for avrechim, sometimes for students. And you find that there's certain people that right away, they go through one training course, they're ready to be a manager of a big company, of a big organization. They think they could right away jump many, many steps, and they don't realize that in life, this is something that I've learned a lot from our shul, from you, from our shul members, that life is a process. It's day by day, and every day you learn, and every day you grow, and every experience, you become somebody different, and every person that you meet, you're able to learn something new. And it's a constant growth of day by day, and not something that happens in one fell swoop. And our mission is to maximize every single day in the journey, and not to think that the journey is just a way to get there. And there's this location or this time that I need to get to a certain place, because then it would be a countdown. We would be counting down, like we spoke, towards Matan Torah, but we're counting up, which means every single day throughout the process, throughout the journey, we are learning something new. We are growing. Am Yisrael is growing every single day, from the day they left Mitzrayim until the day they reached Matan Torah. We ourselves are growing every single day, from the day we leave whatever is holding us back until we become that perfect person that we want to become. And it's a process that we need to go through. And that's what Sfirat HaOmer is teaching us. And that's what it means that it's temimot tihiena, that it needs to be complete. And we've mentioned this also, that temimot, I always take inspiration from the Medrash by Sarah Imenu. By Sarah Imenu, it says that she was 100 years, she was 20 years, she was 7 years. When she was 100, she was as beautiful. She did not have any sin like when she was 20. And when she was 20, she didn't have any sin like when she was 7. And I think I've mentioned this in our shul in the past as well. I think as people, we go through many stages in life, but there are 3 major stages in our lives, and each one is unique. Each one brings unique aspects to our lives. There is the youth, the childhood. Children have something very unique, that they're innocent, and they trust people, and they make friends quickly, and they laugh a lot, and they wake up in the morning with a lot of energy, and they're ready to tackle the day, and they're just like learning from every single second and every experience of their life. They're learning something new, and they're having a good time, and they're really in the moment. But they're not responsible for anything. You can't trust them with anything. They definitely don't understand too many things. And then as we grow older, we enter our adult years. The adult years are years of building real relationships, trust, responsibility, building your life, your career, your homes, your family, creating the next generation. Those are like major years in our life. But a lot of times during those years, we lose the innocence of the childhood, the playfulness, the spark in the eye, the willingness to meet new people and to learn new things and to adjust our ways and to realign things. We lose that sometimes because we're very busy in building and creating. And then there's the third stage of life, which is the stage of seva, of growing old. And those are the years of wisdom, of experience, of knowledge, of seeing, learning from life experience, and people come for advice. And a lot of times during that stage, which is so unique and so special because there's so much life experience, and there's so much, there's more time to read and to have zikna zeh shekana chokhmah, somebody who has chokhmah, which is the highest thing that we value in Judaism, I would say, is chokhmah, and that's why we value our elders. We respect people who have the wisdom of life, especially the wisdom of Torah and the wisdom of life together. But a lot of times during the older years, a person loses definitely the youth, the childhood, and the trust and the laughter, and even the regular adult years of creating, of building, of responsibility. And what was unique about Sarah, and that's why the Medrash says, Ma hi temima af yameha tmimim. This is where I found that the Torah calls days tamim, complete. Just like Sarah was complete, her days were complete, which comes to show us that the journey of actually reaching your destination, and Sarah was the one, which is the example that she reached her destination. When she reached 127, she was complete. She was tamim, she was complete. Why? Because her days were tmimim. Her days were complete. What does that mean? Every day she lived to the fullest. Every day she took the most out of it. When she went from her childhood years to her adult years, she didn't lose out on what was unique about being a child. When she went into her more senior years, she didn't lose out on what it meant to be a young adult, an adult, a child. She had the same flavor in her eyes. You know, we're so blessed. I didn't know this. This is typical of our Marad, the Asra of Rabbi Wine. He didn't tell me that he's coming out with a new sefer. He put out a new book. I saw it in one of the local in the weekly Mishpacha magazine this week. And I told Ariella, I told my wife, look at this. You know, he's publishing new things. He's creating. He's doing. And what a role model. What an example for our Kehila to have such a Marad Asra, to have such a Rav who is always building and always creating, and also always cracking a joke here and there, and having that simcha of life, and to be able to mesh so many things together. I think that's so unique, and that's really what the Torah is teaching us in this week's Parsha. In the Parsha of the Moadot, the Torah is telling us that a person needs to go through their entire process, the process of reaching our goal, but the way we reach our goal is day by day by day by day. It's every single day. We can't jump levels. It's not something that gets jumped, but rather it's something that is a day-to-day action, and we need to fulfill every single day. And that's why when we left Mitzrayim, we right away go into the days of the Omer. The days of the Omer teach us how to reach our destination. They teach us that it's every single day has its own avoda. And I think in the time period that we are in right now, during this quarantine, I don't know what it's like by you. By me, it's like day goes into night and night goes into day, and with the kids and with this. And it's really, I'm realizing that I need to like stop and make myself a weekly schedule, and what am I doing? What am I not doing? What am I focusing on? What I'm not, to really try to maximize the day, to have the time with the kids, to have the time with my family, with my wife, to have the time with learning, to have the time with things that I need to do. And it's really our responsibility during these days, especially when we're hearing that it's almost over, but it's not yet over. So a lot of times we tend to think, okay, so soon it's going to be over, so now I just need to make it through the next week or the next 2 weeks. I think these are the crucial days where we need to have built for ourselves daily goals. I have a friend of mine who I try to talk on the phone, and he says, you got to write for yourself 5 daily wins. These are my wins for today. If I do this, so then it's not just a to-do list. It's a mindset of these are the things that I want to be successful in today or this week. And if a person wakes up in the morning and he sits down and he writes for himself, these are my wins, this is what I want to accomplish over the next few days, and he understands that this is his goal, and he's creating himself a destination, and then he sets time aside for it to do it. It could be, I want to talk to every single grandchild, and I'm going to call them up this coming week. Until Shabbat, I want to talk to everyone, whatever it is. So then, sometimes we wait for them to call, sometimes we call them. The same thing with the grandkids. Or I want to learn something. I want to read a specific book. I want to do whatever it might be. A person needs to stop, to set himself the goal, and then to set himself the system of how to get to it. And I think that's what the Parsha of the Moadot is teaching us, and it's something that is so crucial for our days, where sometimes we go on autopilot. We need to make sure we know that we are aligned with our mission. There's the general mission of Am Yisrael, to create that perfect society in this world. And there's that personal mission for each and every one of us to be the best person we could be so that we could partake in creating that perfect society. It was a pleasure spending this time, giving these words of Chizuk. I would like to end off that tomorrow, Mirza Hashem, at 5 o'clock, we're going to be hosting Nurse Rachel Gemara. Rachel Gemara, you're going to meet her tomorrow. She was in the Keter unit in Shari Tzedek, and it's going to be really fascinating. We're going to put out a flyer about this, and you're really going to enjoy it. It's something that was very, very special. So please make sure to spread the word to your friends. We want to make sure there's a nice showing from our shul to honor the angels in white who are there in the front line, literally saving people's lives and healing people, dealing with people, unfortunately, who perished as well, and really stepping up for Am Yisrael in a new type of way, in a new battle that we've never known before. So it was a big pleasure. Thank you so much. I'm going to take everybody off of mute, and we're really excited about seeing everybody tomorrow.
Oh.